This is Charles Benninghoff, and I have some important news for you about climate change and House Concurrent Resolution 105. And I'm going to call this just 105 throughout, so when you hear that, you know I'm talking about House Concurrent Resolution 105. If you disagree with Al Gore and the Democrat Party and feel that the science related to global warming is not settled, then you should know that the Obama administration wants to criminally prosecute you for your thoughts. That's right, you go to jail if you state you do not agree with Obama's position on global warming. Watch this exchange that took place in the U.S. Senate this week between Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, a Democrat from Rhode Island, and Obama's Attorney General, Loretta Lynch.
A request for action by the Department of Justice has been referred by you to the FBI. My question to you is, other than civil forfeitures and matters attendant to a criminal case, are there other circumstances in which a civil matter under the authority of the Department of Justice has been referred to the FBI?
Senator, thank you for raising that issue, and thank you for your work in this area. I know your commitment is deep. This matter has been discussed. We have received information about it and have referred it to the FBI to consider whether or not it meets the criteria for what we could take action on. I'm not aware of a civil referral at this time. I will look into that and get back to you. But I'm not aware of a civil referral outside of the one that you just raised.
So, the Attorney General admits that she has the FBI looking at criminal prosecution for climate change deniers. And she also indicates that they are looking at civil asset forfeiture, meaning the government can seize your house, your car, and your bank accounts, all for exercising your free speech rights. To understand this issue, you need to realize that the federal government has been infiltrated at many, if not all, levels by the Muslim Brotherhood and other Islamic operatives. We believe that Barack Obama is a Muslim. He was born a Muslim. His father's a Muslim. His father raised him as a Muslim. His stepfather raised him as a Muslim. He did so in Sharia law countries, and there he was trained as a Muslim. The overreaching hallmark of Islam is a total and complete lack of free speech. If a person says anything negative about Islam or Muhammad or the Quran or any of the shenanigans, whatever dictator is in power, then that person can be beheaded, and many are beheaded. When Obama approaches any issue, he therefore attempts to restrict your free speech rights as part of the package. For example, Obama moved to tax and regulate the internet as a public utility. You remember when he did that? That was a method of restricting your speech, because if it is so regulated, the government will be able to tax and fine anyone, including Christian websites. Another example is Obama having a regulation proposed that will make it a federal crime to post schematics or drawings of a firearm on the internet. Obama now does not just try to restrict the Second Amendment, freedom of keeping and bearing arms. What he's trying to do is prevent you from speaking about firearms. Obama and all other one world government zealots see global warming as the biggest taxation scheme and international regulation scheme ever devised by the mind of mankind. Thus, it is imperative for them to impose thought control over Americans in order to succeed with their carbon taxes, their regulatory scheme, and their intrusions into our freedoms. The science on global warming is not settled. In fact, it is so far from unsettled that let me tell you about a couple of recent developments. Just this week, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, also known as the NOAA, released a graph claiming that 2015 was the hottest year ever. Yeah, the graph only showed 37 years of temperature data, even though NOAA has been collecting this data for 58 years. When climate change deniers, such as myself, looked at the entire graph covering the 58 years, they found the average global temperature had not budged one iota. And NOAA was sued under the Freedom of Information Act as recently as December for refusing to turn over documents showing all their data to the House Committee on Science, Space, and Technology. If the science is truly settled, as Obama claims, then why are government agencies trying to hide data about the climate from Congress? The Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, is Obama's mouthpiece, as I said before, and that is why she's pursuing criminal prosecutions of anyone denying man-made global warming. The Apostle Paul wrote in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 12, "Since we have such hope, we use great boldness of speech." The literal translation of that verse could be, "We have great freedom in our speech." This is a fundamental difference between Christian and Muslim nations. In Christian nations like America, you are free to use your full reason and intellect to approach any issue. But to a Muslim like Obama and the government that he is controlling, freedom of speech is never allowed, and government power is used to terrorize your thoughts and stop your free speech. So how do we stop the Justice Department from prosecuting free speech about global warming? Well, we are supporting House Concurrent Resolution 105, which was sponsored by Representative David McKinley, a Republican from West Virginia. Obama signed America up for global warming treaty known as the Paris Agreement in December 2015, and that is what Resolution 105 talks about. The resolution itself states that it is the sense of Congress that the Paris Agreement should not be signed, ratified, or adopted by the United States. So it is imperative that 105 is passed. So how can you help? We have a campaign page ready for you to contact Congress in support of House Concurrent Resolution 105. You can send faxgrams to members of Congress, starting with the House Foreign Affairs Committee, which is considering this resolution right now. If you are on our campaign page, just use the form to the right of this video and select the faxgram program most appropriate for you. You can also find a link to a copy of the House Concurrent Resolution 105 beneath this video screen. If you are watching this on YouTube or some other channel such as Facebook, then look for the link to this campaign page in the text description. Tell Congress to keep the United States out of Barack Obama's totalitarian global warming treaty, which will criminalize your thoughts to speak freely about this issue. This is Charles Benninghoff signing off and wishing you Godspeed.
Satan can't make me doubt it. It's real and I'm gonna shout it. I was there when it happened, and I guess I ought to know.